If you dream to become the most feared shinobi in Assassin's Creed Shadows, you've come to the right place, as I've spent days perfecting this probably most brutal one-shot build for Naoe. It combines deadly tools and multi-chain kills to delete any target in the game. Instantly send him to heaven with absurd assassination damage and super satisfying kunai throws to snowball your way through Japan. In today's guide, I'm gonna share everything you want to know about this build, so let's dive in. I think the intro already kind of speaks for itself. You kind of know right now what you can expect of the build. It's simply put a super efficient one in terms of assassinating enemies, chaining into multi-kills, taking care of bad guys without having to deal with their armor. Timing and precision is key right here, which is super satisfying if you execute it right. In general, getting the most out of Naoe. I'll cover with some gameplay footage how you can deal with pretty much any situation in the game, but before we go over the gear, it is very important to know that in Shadows there are two main and very different ways how you can deal damage to your enemies. The first and most obvious one most people focus on is the raw damage scaling, which increases your damage output when taking your enemies head on. The downside about this, especially with Naoe, is that you most likely have to first go through a truckload of armor, especially on higher levels, before you can actually start depleting HP bars. And this is where the build becomes super interesting, as with assassinations, you only have to focus on removing health segments, which is the secondary method of dealing damage to enemies. And this becomes especially interesting when venturing into higher level areas with stronger enemies that come with more HP. We are not reliant on damage scaling. The only thing that matters is the removal of health segments. So as long as you have these bonuses on your gear, you don't have to upgrade your weapons or armor, which can save you a truckload of cash and resources in the long run. So, now that we've got that out of the way, let's check out our equipment. The katana is something I have equipped as offhand, but I simply never use this one. So we're gonna put it away. The primary weapon which you want to have is the Tanto, as this weapon is amazing in terms of assassinating enemies. More about that in the mastery knowledge tree. But if we look at different weapons right here, you can see that some come with a poison buildup or a bleed buildup. You want to have something with vulnerable damage. The Shinobi's Fury, which I have, comes with weak point attacks make enemies vulnerable a second time, which allows you to chain posture attacks with ease, basically stun locking your enemies and taking care of them pretty quickly. To keep doing this, we have to charge up our abilities, and that's where this engraving comes in very handy. Plus 60% adrenaline gain when hitting vulnerable enemies. If you're still searching for a specific engraving, you can always check out the menu, hover over it, and you should be able to see where you can find it. The Tanto is super easy to get your hands on in the Izumisetsu region, Osaka specifically, after you've completed a main quest near the castle. But let's check out the armor, which I also use for this build. I have this headgear piece, the Yurei Walker hood, comes with a +2 health segments removed on assassinations in Shadows. The engraving which I added to it comes with another +1 health segment removed on assassinations with Kunai, or the throwing daggers. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of legendary equipment. You don't find many of them with nice hard baked in engravings. That's why I decided to focus on purples, as these can be bought at vendors. Look at that, +1 health segment removed on assassinations with Kunai. Focus on the one with high adrenaline gain. But right now, if we check out the engravings and scroll down, health segments removed when assassinating at night or in the shadows, these are situations that don't often occur. Same counts for the damage with tools. Don't focus on that, as damage scaling is not relevant for these assassinations. Instead, focus on assassinations which are more common. Of course, the higher value, the better, but double assassinations, air assassinations, even the regular one right here, which basically applies for all the different assassinations, including the one with Kunai. If you want to get this build done fast and easy though, you can already pick up the Yurei Walker hood pretty early game in the Yamashiro region. Simply visit the south of it, where you will find Yamazaki Castle, clear the fort and you will find it inside the legendary chest. The armor for this build is key, as it comes with an amazing engraving, hard baked in, which is going to make assassinations a whole lot easier. The tool's master gear comes with a throw a kunai at the closest enemy after an assassination. So when you jump off a roof and take out your first target, it will automatically erase the second one with, of course, the right upgrades. With the second engraving, plus 2 health segments removed on air assassinate, which is optional, it's gonna be easy mode to take out those targets, followed up with the kunai throw for a secondary kill. You can actually find this on the Swift Shinobi robes as well, so then you can just choose another type of engraving and basically get the same result. The tool's master gear though is the obvious choice, as you can pick it up in the very first region, Izumi Setsu, after you've taken care of the daisho and looted the chest in Katano Castle. And last but not least, we also have the Trinket. Comes with a very important engraving. Even though it's essential for this build, most of them you come across during your adventures, especially legendaries, come with terrible hard-baked-in engravings. But the secondary one right here, the custom engraving, should be 50% chance to refill a tool on kill. This makes kunai throw assassinations super satisfying, as you don't have to worry about running out of them, and you can simply snipe one target after the next one. The great thing about this talent is that it can also refresh other tools, like smoke bombs and bells. This was a pretty funky kill, assassinated someone, got back a kunai, and I was able to do it another time because he simply refused to die. Well played, Ubisoft. That's actually a win for me. A 50% chance to refill a tool with headshots does the exact same thing, while if we look at damage output, this can be super interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, a plus 15% damage per non-legendary. If you have a truckload of those, you can scale up your damage output like crazy, which can already be found on the Ani's Fury, which you can also find in the starter zone Izumi Setsu. You specifically want to search for this old Kofun, which is east of Sakai. Whew, that's already a lot of information. Anyways, if you enjoyed the guide so far, it would mean the world to me if you can spend 1 second of your time, hit that like button, as I spent a lot of time working on these videos. Also say hi in the comments if you're new here. But yes, let's focus on the mastery, all the knowledge you want to distribute. First off, let's check out Tanto, Shadow Piercer. Throw your dagger at an enemy, followed with a stab, which makes your enemy vulnerable. You want to take all the upgrades to maximize its damage output and also increase the throw distance by 10 meters once you get the chance. And remember our Tanto's engravings, especially the plus 60% adrenaline gain when hitting vulnerable enemies. This allows you to build up those adrenaline points like crazy. The next ability is probably the most important one, Hidden Hand. Sheath your Tanto and extend the hidden blade in its classic form. This means we never have to deal with big armor chunks, we can easily focus on the health segments, assassinate during combat, chaining those kunai assassinations afterwards. All this is super satisfying, especially if you happen to accidentally trigger combat. In this case, the enemy spotted me before I spotted them when climbing inside. But still though, no problemo. We take out our blades, easily take care of the first guy, followed up with a kunai throw in the face of the next. The same strategy can be applied to take care of the final daisho, which comes with a whopping 8 health segments, which is, yeah, as you can see, impossible to deal with only one shot from the roof. Of course though, if we take out that same ability, this guy is gonna be no problemo either. Oh man, this is so satisfying, it feels literally broken. If you're still on a lower level or haven't unlocked tier 4 mastery, don't worry about it, as right now we're gonna focus on probably the most important upgrades for your character, in the tools section. This, man, is where things become so much fun. First off, the kunai throw. Hold to aim and press to throw. Kunai will deal 400% damage. Assassination damage removes an additional health segment with kunai. Another one right here. And on rank 6, you can upgrade it another time. Which means you can already remove 4 health segments with 1 throw. And this is excluding the bonuses on our gear. So you can tell that this thing can become insanely deadly. From time to time, you will also run into some Ronin, which can be pretty challenging if you have to take him head on, but with this build you can just easily delete him with one simple kunai throw in the face. These guys come with amazing rewards, including a truckload of money, but if you want to get rich quick in Assassin's Creed Shadows, be sure to check out my ultimate money guide, which you can find in the top right of the screen. Smoke Bomb is also going to be an amazing one to pick up, as it allows you to break line of sight of all your enemies, including the stronger guys, so you can continue assassinating when you accidentally happen to trigger combat, and you kinda have to use brute force to take care of your enemies. This simply prevents all that. Definitely also use the Enduring Haste to extend its duration by 10%. I didn't use the bell because, yeah, you just want to be as silent as possible, but since we've already unlocked a lot more knowledge points right now, we can actually start playing with it. If you have the points to distribute, also pick up Adrenaline Generator. Only do this later on. First focus on the larger tool bag, so you can have a total of, I think, 5 kunai. Combined with her trinket, it would make it virtually impossible to run out of them, unless of course you're terrible at sniping. And guys, don't worry if you have terrible aim, as this build can still be relevant for you. Just check out the gameplay settings. Right here you can play with aim assist, put it all the way to the full, and still get that legendary feeling of headshots. Trust me, I won't tell anyone. If you've made it this far into the video, leave a comment down below and say I never miss. I think that's pretty relevant. Anyways, 2 more very important trees to talk about. Let's first go over Assassination. The regular hidden blade, already unlocked from the get-go, should be upgraded as much as possible. Especially on the highest rank, it's gonna be super deadly. You can also use Reinforced Blade to take care of larger enemies. On rank 5, which I haven't unlocked yet, they can no longer deny this. And this is where Tanto ability comes in very handy, super satisfying to then still use the hidden hand, literally pull a reverse Uno card and deal with them anyways. And this is why we have a katana as offhand, so we can use the Show Your Door Assassination, take care of enemies through walls. Double Assassinate, obviously, for those sweet double kills. Also pick up the Ground Assassinate, upgrade it for an additional segment removal. The Vigor 1 and 2 to get more adrenaline chunks. Right here we have another interesting situation where we have to deal with a high profile target, comes with a total of 6 health segments. This assassination will 100% fail, so in that case, just take your time. Do a couple whistles and lure him outside, as with an aerial attack from the roofs, we can actually deplete those 6 health segments with only 1 tap. Unfortunately, my kunai assassination didn't one-tap his body, but still, we have a couple more tricks up our sleeve, literally, which can take care of them as well. And last but not least, we also have our Shinobi tree. This is where I like to pick up the Egan roll, so you no longer have to worry about falling to death, especially with the upgrade. Now it will negate fall damage if, of course, you roll right before you hit the ground. Increase your climbing speed with this boost. Lightning Kick, also very nice to use to put enemies on the floor so you can deal with them later, especially with the immobilized ability, as you can then extend the duration. With Grab, you can grab enemies, even assassinate them if you want to, but this is something I never do. I don't leave witnesses behind. But yeah, there you have it, the full talent tree or mastery for this build. The final tip I can give you guys when it comes down to maximizing your damage output is to find all those engravings as quick as possible. This can be done simply by exploring the world. Every town usually comes with like a gear vendor, so simply check out every single one of them and you should be able to pick up all the relevant engravings pretty quickly. That's another gear vendor right there. But yeah, you get the point. Explore the world. Start killing bad guys like a boss. That's what this build is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, a big thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the guides. And of course, share your thoughts about the build in the comments down below. Maybe you have some suggestions for the community to make it even more lethal. Let us know in the comments. And of course, questions right there are very welcome as well. Be sure to subscribe to stay in the loop with future videos, including an updated version for the endgame on this build. Right now though, it is 4 AM out. I want to wish you an amazing day. I'll check you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace.